Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show, where this week we'll be discussing everything there is to know about all the reflective heat transfer vinyls that we have to offer. Before we dive into our discussion, we of course want to discuss our look of the week. Every Saturday we do a show and tell, and this one was submitted by Kelly Voss. So we choose one look of the week to show from our show and tell on Saturdays. And this week we chose Kelly Voss's from Carlton, Kansas, where she used a mixed media design using fashion-FILM and our custom pattern. So I really love this design, not only because we have a mixed media look where we're using one single color and then pairing it with a multicolor pattern. So this is a great look, Kelly. I absolutely love how you photographed this piece. I'm a big advocate on really staging your photographs so that it really adds to the design and sells the product. So being able to piece that together with an outfit there, she has jeans, some jewelry, just showing how that t-shirt can be worn really helps to the customer eye on how they can piece together a t-shirt that they're buying from you. I see some people commenting in. Hi, Denny. Thanks for joining. Be sure to comment in whenever you guys join the broadcast so we know exactly where you're joining us from. We always love to see where everybody's coming from. And it looks like Denny is coming all the way from the UK, which is pretty awesome. All right, so today we have a really great topic all on our reflective heat transfer vinyl. And the reason we chose to do this topic is because there are so many heat transfer vinyls out there that can get a bit confusing on what product we're supposed to be using for different types of jobs that we have. So Stahls is known for being pretty much the most confusing one because we offer so many different heat transfer vinyls. So we really want to take the time to break those down for you. And this week we'll be talking all about our reflective heat transfer vinyl. So we do offer 3 right now. And the first one that we most recently added is Hi-Vis Color Reflect, where we're actually adding color to our reflective heat transfer vinyl. And you can actually see this back here on the backpack behind me, where we have incorporated a personalization onto a Nike backpack. And we correlated that with the contrasting color on that backpack, that navy. So the color that you're seeing on there is our navy Hi-Vis Color Reflect. If you're looking at it in person without a light really reflecting and hitting it, it really does match up with the navy that is being used for the piping around that backpack. But the light is hitting it, so it's starting to shine really bright. So when a direct light hits it, such as a flash of a camera or a car light, it is going to shine bright silver. So right now we're seeing a little bit of silver with the blue in that, which gives it a really unique effect. And there are a lot of different ways that you can use this product because of its special effect. It shows color and then it has that reflective enhancement to it as well. So a lot of people are using this to personalize or custom print corporate wear, using it for fashion wear just to add piping and other elements to the garment that you're applying so that it has that special effect look and you can gain a higher profitability for that. All right, so that is our Hi-Vis Color Reflect that you're seeing there. And our next one is Reflective 2. All right, so this is just a silver reflective that you can add profitability to your designs by just incorporating it in different ways, such as how we did on the yellow t-shirt there with our Premium Plus. So we did a mixed media look here where we're adding our Reflective 2 just for a nice special effect. Reflective 2 only comes in silver, all right, so you're just able to get that silver color and use it with other pieces to really build profitability in the designs that you do. So you can see we just incorporated that a little bit to add some special effect, but still kept those school colors by utilizing the color of the t-shirt, which is that golden yellow look, and then our dark green. Okay, so Reflective 2 is the best price point when it comes to choosing these reflectives. It is more economically priced. You're saving about 40% when you're comparing it to 3M Reflective. So reflectives are being used a lot for the Reflective 2 is actually being used a lot for our the fashion industry, corporate wear, everything that Hi-Vis is really being used for too, but we're able to get it at a bit of a better price point. So we're able to do large designs like the one on the front of the t-shirt without breaking the bank. All right, and it also offers a good price point for your customers as well, especially for those price conscious customers that aren't willing to pay a little extra for a special effects such as the Hi-Vis color reflect. So you do have that as a secondary option. Then we have our 3M reflective, which is what you're seeing up on our blue shirt there. Right, so we just did a left chest logo on that, but our 3M reflective is used specifically for ANSI certification jobs. So anytime that you need to use, have to reach a certain level for a municipality or anything such as a road crew, that's whenever you would want to use our 3M reflective, because it's meeting that certification that those workers need so that they're safe and working alongside of the road. All right, so we're going to actually apply some of these reflectives so that you can see all of the different fabrications that these work well with. I am working with the Air Fusion here, and I have reflective 2 brought up on my screen here. So I'm just going to work at that temperature since we are doing different application types. All right, so for the first application, we're actually going to be doing our 3M reflective. You can see I have my 16 by 20 loaded on here. And I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. This is the standard platen that comes with the heat press. All right, just going to unlock that. And I'm going to drop in my 11 by 15 so that I can isolate the back of that jacket without anything getting in the way of me getting a nice even pressure. All right, so I'm going to make sure that that's locked in so it's not moving around on me. And I'm going to pull my transfer out from the front of the jacket. All right, so we're going to be doing a full back print and a left chest. All right, so I'm going to just unzip this a little bit so that I can thread on my jacket. Threadability is key whenever you're working with items such as outerwear, since there are so many different compartments and things going on with this jacket that could get in the way of having an even pressure. So I want to make sure that these seams that come down the back are totally off of the platen, and that is why I chose an 11 by 15 for this application, so that those seams are not going to get in the way. I'm also going to test my transfer to make sure it's fitting on this 11 by 15. You can see that it's just reaching the edges. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and swap this platen to being a landscape instead of portrait, so that I know that that design is going to fit all the way across. All right, so you can just turn that platen. All right, and to just make sure that I'm center, I'm going to check my seams out on the side, so I do need to move this over just a tad, and then cover with my cover sheet and apply for the full application. So 3M reflective applies at 330 degrees, anywhere from 320 to 330. And we are going to let that cool after it applies so that it has time to cool down and the artwork or design is not being distorted after we apply that. So while I'm waiting for that to cool down, I'm going to go ahead and swap out my platen so that I am working with only the left chest of that jacket. So it makes sense to drop the dimensions. All right, so we're just going to leave that guy on there, and this is going to be the perfect time to show you our heat printing pillow. So this is all cooled down now. I can go ahead and not peel that back there. All right, so we're going to lift this up. What's nice about working with 3M reflective is if something like this happens where we didn't get enough even pressure there in the center, I can just leave that there, cover with my cover sheet, and apply again. So no need to worry if that happens. We can just load that right back onto that platen and reapply. All right. Learn from my mistakes here. All right, whenever we reapply that, I'm going to turn around just to make sure we don't have any questions. Okay, so it looks like, can we see closer, please, of the design? Okay, so for the designs on the t-shirts in the back, that's something that we can post pictures of after the broadcast. So if you're looking to see those a little more up close, that's something that we can post. All right, so this is a 100% polyester jacket, and you can see that that completely applied just by me covering with a cover sheet and re-hitting that with the press. So you don't have to worry about that ever coming up once it's on that polyester. I think the problem with that is I didn't get enough time in the first application. So my first application was set up for 5 seconds. If I would have went for the full application, I wouldn't have had a problem with that applying. All right, so we can go ahead and move to the next application, which is the left chest. And just because I'm not able to get my platen undone doesn't mean that I can't use another accessory to get my second application on. So we're going to be using a heat printing pillow, and these pillows have foam inside them so that we're able to raise an area that we're trying to isolate without any other items getting in the way, such as the zipper and other hardware that could cause uneven pressure. So we can go ahead and thread this inside our jacket. All right, so that zipper is totally falling off to the side, and now I have this whole area isolated so I can get a nice flat pressure. All right, so we're going to drop our 3M right below that seam of our collar here. So the outer seam, I'm going to drop that center and place that right there so I know that I'm lined up. I'm going to cover with my cover sheet and apply for the full application this time so that it doesn't come up whenever I'm removing that carrier. All right, so I'm going to change from 5 to 10 seconds, and we can apply that there. All right, so the air fusion right now is automatically readjusting to the density that I added in there underneath this upper heating element. So anytime I'm working with a heat printing pillow or a printing pad, all I have to do with that application is make sure that my heat press is either automatically going to readjust for me, which happens with any of our automated heat presses such as the air fusion, any of the presses from the air fusion line. And then we also, if we're working with a regular fusion where we have to automatically adjust that pressure, anytime we're adding one of those in there, we need to make sure that we're adjusting our pressure to fit. If I don't do that, I risk damaging the fabric that I'm applying this to. So this is 100% polyester, so I need to make sure that I'm being very careful about how my pressure is and how my heat is, all right? So that is the complete look, and you can see that really shining off. It's starting to match the reflective piping on the zippers and the lines. So that's a really great way to upsell an item, is if it already has reflective on it, to do another reflective on there as well, okay? All right, so for our next application, we're going to be using our Reflective 2. And Reflective 2 is a great alternative for 3M reflective if it doesn't need to be ANSI certified. So it gets that really nice reflectivity that we're looking for that nice special effect so that it really pops off the garment. So I have my 11 by 15 on here. I would love to use my 6 by 10, but since I'm struggling with getting this platen off, I need somebody with a little more strength than me to get it off. We'll just work with that pillow again. All right, so this is a new era garment purchased from Sanmar. This is one of their newer brands that they brought onto their line. And just going to do a nice left chest logo on there. Right. So that zipper is falling off the side of the pillow. Again, just a rule of thumb, dropping this center of the outer seam of the collar about 6 or 7 inches down from that area. Okay, and that area is where this seam meets the outer collar from the sleeve. Okay. Right, zipper is off to the side, so we have a nice flat pressure. And now we can apply for the full application. Right, again, that is going to be at 10 seconds. So we'll change that and apply. Reflective 2 is a hot peel, so we can go ahead and peel that hot as soon as the press is done counting down. Right, so you can see in just under 10 seconds we have a complete customized left chest logo for a municipality where we don't necessarily need that ANSI certification, but we're able to get that reflective anyway for a lower price. Okay? All right, so that's whenever you would want to use reflective too. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment those in. Looks like we are getting some 3M reflective, reflective 2, and Hi-Vis reflective are all the reflective the same? Okay, so good question. Our Hi-Vis Color Reflect and our 3M reflective is the same reflective. All right, so that's why they both have that higher price point. The only thing is, though, between the two is the Hi-Vis Color Reflect does not have the ANSI certification, only the 3M does. As for the reflective 2, it does have a little bit of retro reflectivity. It's not getting that same candle power as the other two, so it has a lower price point. So we're able to help those price conscious customers with a reflective finish, but it just doesn't have that same reflectivity, but it does shine nice and bright whenever lights hit it still. All right, so just holding that up again so that you can see how reflective that does show, even though it does not have that same candlelight power as the 3M and the Hi-Vis. Do you have thick reflective heat transfer vinyl? No, not at this moment are we reaching that high of a micron right now. If you are looking for a material that is a little thicker but doesn't have the reflective, we do have our silicone dye block, so you can check that product out so that you can get that thickness. Okay, is it just me or the video choppy for everyone? All right, hopefully it's not for everybody and our internets are working just fine, but if you guys want to watch this afterwards, we do record all of this and upload it to YouTube. So if you are having an issue right now, you're able to watch it afterward as well on our YouTube channel. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our last application, and this is also a new era garment where we're gonna be doing our Hi-Vis Color Reflect, okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and load this on. And I'm actually going to be doing 3 different placements because the idea of using High Color Reflect is to get as much personalization in this garment as possible. All right, so I'm gonna take that one off for right now and just do the left chest. We'll be using our pillow for everything. Right, so we'll just thread the pillow inside the garment. Make sure we're isolating that area that we want to personalize. All right, so I don't have to worry about these seams getting in the way of the even pressure since they will sink right into this, that pillow there and still raise the area in which I'm trying to print. All right, so I'm just going to place this here. Make sure we're nice and center of that collar seam. All right, so we can go ahead and cover with our cover sheet. And again, the automated presses will realign for the pressure that we added putting that pillow in there, so don't have to worry about manually adjusting that. And then we'll move down to the bottom part of our garment. Okay, so whenever you are doing what essentially would be a wraparound print for this, or actually it's a bottom seam print, you want to make sure you're not going over too far where it becomes a wraparound print. So how I usually gauge this is either going from the outside of that collar seam and dropping down, or where this pocket is. So I need to move this over a little bit so that it's not going off to the side and still staying as a personalization on the front of the garment. And then I just need to readjust my pillow to make sure that we're getting that application there. All right, so we can apply this. And then once this is done, we have one more application on the back to do. So as I was mentioning earlier, whenever you're working with Hi-Vis Color Reflect, you want to take advantage of all of the print areas that you can with this product, but keep the design as minimal and simplistic as possible so that you're able to print as many areas of the garment without spending too much money on print on the different sizes of the pieces. So you'll see that I'm doing small pieces of this heat transfer vinyl and applying it in different places because I want to add reflectivity to an area of each area of this garment so that when someone is either wearing this to work out or run in or anything where it's like a low lit situation, it'll still be safe for them to wear because it's hitting any light in those areas. All right, so just adding a little personalization on the back. Make sure my pillow's in there so those seams aren't causing uneven pressure. You always have to be careful of that or your heat transfer vinyl just won't apply at that point. All right, and then that will be our last application for this garment. All right, go ahead and check questions. Can reflective be layered on top of flock? So right now, we haven't tested layering our reflective heat transfer vinyl on flock. We've only done it on our matte or smooth finished heat transfer vinyl. You don't want to layer anything on top of reflective, but you can layer reflective on top of other heat transfer vinyl. The only one as of now is not flock, okay? All right, so we added our custom printing to the back so that we're able to get added value to this shirt. Of course, like I said earlier, make sure you're taking advantage of all the profitability that you can in all of the different areas that can be printed and adding reflective to. So whenever this person is running, they're able to stay safe because we have a print up here that's going to be shining as well as down here and then of course on the back as well. Whenever you are doing back prints that have a hood, you want to be careful. Whenever this is being worn, this hood is going to be dropping right about here. All right, but if I did it up any higher, the hood would just be at that point covering it up. So whenever this is worn, this is going to be more up on the shoulders or on top of the head, so we know we're going to be able to see that. But if that was any higher, that could be covered up. So make sure whenever you are doing Hi-Vis Color Reflect for the notion of it being safe for runners or anything like that, that you're able to see each piece of that reflective so that they are staying safe. All right, and then, all right, Denny, thank you. You went ahead and answered that for me. So right now, the only product that we do layer on flock is our adhesive, and that product is our heat transfer vinyl for our foil to adhere to. We do have videos on that if you do want to check that out on our YouTube channel. But that does complete this week's morning show. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment those in and we will get to them after the broadcast. Other than that, thanks so much for joining me.